Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Wookie Castro. And I know a lot of you guys have been big fans of GTA, from San Andreas, from Vice City, our aesthetic, from GTA 3 to all throughout the series. And recently I've been getting really into GTA 4. And I think there's something a lot more that people really don't read into the story that talks about our humanity as a person.
I like to get shit-faced.
I'm Wookie Castro, and this is Talking Shots.
That's about all I like to get.
Sword sheath, it's the return of the blade and slice shade, getting paid until my silhouette fades. A mercenary, spit the levy versus scary sage, doing girlies dirty, splitting with obituaries. Death is not a factor, more than just a rapper packing hash up in the stash. Mine faster than the rapper.
So dating in Grand Theft Auto actually ends up being a huge part of the storyline and your gameplay, because you gain different effects from how your relationship goes from the people that you're involved with. There's actually a big overlying storyline for the first half of the game where you're involved with someone who, no matter how you play it out in the relationship, you could treat her like shit, you could treat her like the best girl in the world, and no matter what, she will betray you. And sadly, that's kind of reflective of how life is. Sometimes, no matter what you do in a relationship, there's gonna be ways that it's never gonna change the outcome. And that's just something that you have to learn as a person. This game does it in a really rare way, which I actually haven't experienced it in other games, where you don't really gain anything from her because you're not expecting it. You're just expecting her to be part of the storyline because she is. But as I've seen, even if you treat her like crap, even if you're like me where you treat her like an absolute angel princess queen, she's still gonna turn you over to the cops. Driving in GTA is the most realistic driving simulator I've ever faced in my life. I've played Need for Speed, I've played Gran Turismo, I've played so many driving simulators, and I love playing driving games. I'm a terrible driver, but I love it. And GTA is the most realistic. You will get a mission on the other half of the map, and they'll be like, yo, go meet up little Tortini in Brooklyn to go pick up Gianna in the West Bronx. And that will literally take you an hour and a half. Just because of the fact that they made the map so realistic. So that is literally just an aspect of you in your life. You got friends that live out of town? Damn, Skippy, you're gonna have to go pick them up. Loyalty within GTA 4 is actually a huge aspect, not within so much in the game, but more so within your choices as a player and how it affects the storyline. They give you a lot of crossroads, I guess, choices within the game and how you want to finish out missions, where you could either kill this guy who's helped you a lot, or this person who's always been your friend, and you have to really pick out the aspect. Are you going to pick the monetary or the loyalty within the game? And a lot of times, loyalty ends up winning out. And even the main character, Niko Bellic, he ends up being a very loyal person to what he believes in his truths and what are not truths, and in his standardization of what his beliefs are. And you can see it. It's super simple. One of the biggest things about Niko Bellic is that he always stays loyal to the people that treat him correctly. Even though with his criminal past, it ends up being a little bit contrary to what you would think. But if you really look at it, he always stays loyal to Roman. He always stays loyal to a lot of the characters that he works for, and to the point that they put him into a perspective where he feels that they're being disloyal to him. And that just is a representation of just how anyone can be. People could be disloyal to you, including anyone who's above you or anything. If you're working at a job and your boss tells you one thing and they're acting another way once you bring it up to them, I don't think you should put up with it, but also don't murder them like you do in GTA. Just don't kill them. Don't kill them. You don't have to. Responsibility plays out not only through your actions throughout the storyline, but also your actions throughout the gameplay. What ends up happening is you end up finding out so much more about Niko Bellic and his own character that it ends up reflecting upon you and what you want to do. Niko Bellic is an immigrant from a foreign country who understands all the crime that he's done and all the murders that he's done, and he's been traumatized by that. But he takes responsibility for it. He wants someone to take responsibility for the betrayal that they did upon him and for them to be able to own up to it. That is actually your main goal throughout the game. You start in the beginning and you come to America simply for the fact that you're looking for someone that betrayed you and you want them to take responsibility upon it. Never once does Niko Bellic ever deny the fact that he's ever done this or that, or doesn't take responsibility for any murder, any crime, or any good that he has done. He is just a genuine person. And it's kind of weird the fact that a criminal could teach you that much about yourself, even though you've never committed a crime, but at least he's honest about himself. So if you guys want to do your research, Grand Theft Auto 4 actually came out over 10 years ago, and it still shows the same level, if not less, of xenophobia that we represent in America in this current time. What it shows within this game is the fact that a lot of people within the game are actually afraid of your character, Niko Bellic, an Eastern European immigrant that came to America no less than 2 weeks ago, and they discriminate against them. If you even bump into another character, they will start spewing out xenophobic slurs towards your character. And this is not something that I'm kidding about. You can literally look it up yourself or buy the game. And Rockstar has never been a company that I've ever felt has discriminated against any race in particular. They really just take aspects of human conversation and really try to push it so it starts becoming parody. But it really becomes reflective of how we are as a people. For example, and this is one of the main missions where I really realized how deep xenophobia runs. There's a mission within Grand Theft Auto where you're actually kidnapping an immigrant's daughter who was born within America to get her back to his father because her daughter is running with a biker gang or something. That's not what matters. You're trying to get her back to her father, and when you kidnap her, she starts screaming all these xenophobic slurs. She's saying, go back to your country, go back to where you're from, you're gonna be the reason that the border is gonna be closed. And like, how can you even tell that from someone just by their accent? And I don't know, it kind of got to me a little bit, and this is the only mission that actually hit a little bit close to home because of the fact that I wasn't born in America. I'm actually a Dominican immigrant, and I've felt a lot of these type of same feelings from other people who don't understand where I'm from. I mean, I'm a little bit more blessed than other people where I look a little bit more racially ambiguous, but fuck, I've still faced the same thing. From the fact that people hear my deep voice, and if you hear my voice first, I've been called a spick because they assume for the fact that I speak Spanish that I've been called that. And to hear something like this in a game so well represented, that's something that I can appreciate because it represents our struggles, and especially over the fact that this is something that came out over almost a decade ago, and we're still facing this now, if not worse. It only becomes worse. And I'm not afraid to talk about it. It becomes something so important to me because imagine how, like, I speak English well because of the fact that it's something I've prided myself over. And something that when I came to America, when I was a baby, I wanted to make sure, like, when I started growing older, I wanted to make sure I could always speak Spanish, I could always speak English. Completely fine. But imagine all the other people that come from other countries that are discriminated against, that aren't able to defend themselves because someone else wants to tell them that you should go back to their country even though they themselves are immigrants or their ancestry are immigrants from this country. It creates a deeper dialogue, a real deeper dialogue into what race relations are, but this game does it well. And for me to even be able to pick that up from a video game, something like Grand Theft Auto, something that politicians want to say is only about rape and murder and whatever else you want to look, just look it up, Google it. All the controversies that come up with Grand Theft Auto, but the one thing that they never talk about are race relations and the controversy that came from there because they talk about it. And it sucks. It sucks that you're able to play so many different aspects of the human condition within different GTA games. And people don't want to pick that up and they only see the murder. That seems so simple-minded. There's something really funny about Grand Theft Auto as a series overall. People always see it as you being able to do this crime or that crime, and that's all they ever try to justify it to, instead of seeing it as a big picture, as a reflection of what you could do in humanity and letting you do it within a game. People don't want to accept the fact that you don't have to have a reason to go out and kill people. You don't have to have a reason to go out and be racist against people. And you don't have to go out of your way and be a good person. Tell me how one of my #1 favorite memes is just people who love to drive in a car in Grand Theft Auto and follow all the traffic laws. So Grand Theft Auto 4, one of the best games I ever played, and just shows a small section of the world in New York. Do I recommend any other Grand Theft Auto games? Of course. Play San Andreas, see California. Play one of the old school ones. Play the London mod for GTA 2. But if you want to play the best one, play Grand Theft Auto Vice City. So yeah guys, I still think Grand Theft Auto 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. But if there's any, thoughts that I might have missed, or if you really think the opposite, comment below. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook page, share our YouTube page, our Instagram, and our Twitter. And remember, I'm Oki Castro, and this is Talking Shots.